So today what we'll do is we'll not focus on the controller part today. We'll focus on the motor itself. Okay, we'll focus on the motor itself. So let's. So from this class we will be discussing how to mathematically model some of the systems. Okay, using the white box method. What is white box method? The knowing the physics of the system completely and then modeling it. Okay, so why a motor? Motor is very common for almost all applications. So DC motor is very important, and this is a actually a plant, or what is it? It's a, it comes under the category of what?
Actuator.
Actuators. Okay, so from actuators it goes to the system. Okay, so motor itself is not a system. Suppose you are using motors for say electric car or drones, then those becomes the system, and motors become the actuator. Okay, so why do we need to model this? Because if we have to do a simulation of the performance of this motor, a feedback control for this motor, then we need to have a mathematical model. So we need to also understand how to develop these mathematical models. So this, have you studied the basics of DC motors and mechatronics course? Or any course? Have you studied about DC motors?
We studied in electrical, sir, first year.
Yes,
Okay, okay. Some construction details you are aware of, right? Stator, rotor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All those. Okay, fine. If you are not aware of it, or if you have forgotten, what you can do is there are many YouTube links. I'll give you one of the link which is having some animation of the DC motor working, so that you can refer to. And it will be easy to understand if you watch that video than me explaining what is happening, because what I have is only an image. I can't show the rotation here. So it will be better to do it with a video. So I'll not be playing any video, but I'll give a video link later after the class, and then you can look into the working principle of the DC motor. Okay, now we'll start mathematical modeling of this DC motor. First, we'll take a brushed DC motor. So what is a brush and all those? You just look into those videos, you'll get to know like what is the role of the brush there, and what is a brushless motor, what is a brushed motor, all those. Okay. So here, this is the circuit of this same motor. Okay. So this is a voltage supply here. And this coils, you see a lot of coils over here. Okay. So the resistance of that is modeled here as R. And then the inductance. Inductance means you have a metal core and you have the winding on it. Okay, so because of that there is inductance. And then are you aware of this back EMF thing? Have you heard of back EMF?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you mean by back EMF? Any idea? As you increase this voltage, okay, as you increase the voltage, what happens is within the motor there is generation of EMF. Okay, within the motor itself there is generation of EMF which is opposing the input voltage. Okay, so this voltage is from the battery. This voltage is from the battery you are applying to run the motor, and when you are applying the voltage, what is happening is there is a back EMF produced which is opposing this voltage. Okay, so that will be there, and this is what makes the electrical system of the DC motor. And what you see here is the rotor part. Okay, it is shown outside, but I am talking about this rotor part. Okay, so this is stator, and this whole thing is rotating. Okay, This is the rotor part. And that rotor part has a mass moment of inertia I, okay? And then this motor will produce a torque T, and it will produce a angular velocity omega. 1 minute. Yeah, sorry. So this is, it will produce a torque T, and it will have a angular velocity omega. And what you see here is C omega is nothing but the damping, okay, the damping coefficient C, and this is the angular velocity. It's like this is the opposing motion, okay. It's because of the any friction here, okay, any friction here which is opposing the torque that is produced, okay, that is taken care of this C omega, okay. The directions you see, this is the torque produced in this direction, so you are getting the motion in this direction, the angular velocity is in this direction, but the friction is in the opposite direction, okay. So this is considered as the viscous damper one, okay. It's the same as what you used to do with the vibrations course, C omega, it's the same thing, okay. So for this to mathematically model, we need to understand few things. So first one is the Kirchhoff's voltage law. This you would have studied. In any closed loop network, the total voltage around the loop is equal to the sum of all voltage drops within the same loop, okay. So this is the voltage input, and what is opposing all those? It is a resistance, inductance, and the back EMF, okay. So algebraic sum of all these must be equal to 0. So that is what the Kirchhoff's voltage law tells us, okay. And then Ohm's law for an inductor is V is equal to L into di by dt. So this is the voltage across an inductor, that is L into di by dt. What is it for the resistance?
V is equal to IR, sir.
V is equal to IR. Okay, fine. Now, from where do we get this back EMF thing? When the coil of a motor is turned, magnetic flux changes and an EMF is induced. The motor thus acts as a generator whenever its coil rotates. This will happen whether the shaft is turned by an external input like a belt drive or by the action of motor itself. That is, when a motor is doing work and the shaft is turning, an EMF is generated, okay. So when you supply voltage, the motor starts rotating, okay, and because of that, a back EMF is generated. This is told by the Lenz's law, okay. Lenz's law tells us that EMF opposes any change, so that the input EMF that powers the motor will be opposed by the motor's self-generated EMF called the back EMF of the motor. So what are the laws we saw? Kirchhoff's voltage law, then this was Ohm's law, and then the Lenz's law, okay. These three laws govern the working of this DC motor, simple DC motor, okay. So now we need to develop the mathematical model. So it will be a little equations thing, but it will be fine. It's not very complicated. We can do it, okay. So I'll apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law first, okay. It says the voltage that you apply, okay, it is opposed by the resistance, okay. The IR is the voltage across the resistor, voltage drop across the resistor, minus L into di by dt. So this is the voltage drop across the inductor, minus the back EMF, okay, back EMF. So the algebraic sum of all these must be equal to 0. So this is what Kirchhoff's voltage law says. In any closed loop network, the total voltage around the loop is equal to sum of all the voltage drops within the same loop, okay. So which is also equal to 0. Okay, so that is what I have written here. Why minus sign? Because these are all opposing. Okay, the input is voltage V. These are all opposing ones, so it's all minus, equal to 0. Okay. Now this back EMF voltage, back EMF voltage is equal to the back EMF constant multiplied by the angular velocity. Okay, this is a formula. So the back EMF voltage is equal to the back EMF constant multiplied by the angular velocity. Okay, so this we will substitute here. So that will be V minus IR minus L into di by dt minus Ke into omega equal to 0. Okay, so this is by Kirchhoff's voltage law. Okay, now what you do is, and this is the electrical part. This is the electrical part of the motor. Now coming to the mechanical part. What is the mechanical part? See, this is not outside. Okay, this thing is not outside. It is actually this one. Okay, the rotor one. Okay, so it has it produces, the motor produces a torque. Okay, the motor produces a torque. Now I use, for the mechanical part, I use Newton's second law. Newton's second law. Okay, so so what is Newton's second law? Summation of all forces is equal to mx double dot. Okay, or the summation of all torque is equal to J into theta double dot. This one, the mass moment of inertia, is written as I there. I'll change it to J, because I you will get confused with the current. Okay, so I'll change it to J. So this can be written for the rotary one as Newton's second law. This is for the linear one. Okay, any doubt in this? Okay.
No, sir.
So now for the mechanical part, what you'll do is, you have the torque that is produced by the motor, which is positive. Okay, and then what else do you have is there is a friction which is opposing. Okay, friction due to damping. Okay, the damp torque. Okay, it is acting opposite. Okay, so it should be minus T minus C into omega. Okay, and then suppose if you apply any load to the motor shaft. Okay, this is the motor shaft. If you connect something, okay, if you connect probably a wheel or anything, okay, you apply a load on that. Okay, so that is nothing but the load torque. Okay, which is opposing it again. Okay, so minus is equal to J into theta double dot. J into theta double dot. This is from the Newton's second law. So the electrical part is from the Kirchhoff's law, then Ohm's law, Lenz's law, and all those. Okay, and this equation is written from Newton's second law. Fine. Now I am not applying any load on the motor for now, so I'll put it as 0. I'm not applying any torque, so I'll say it is 0 only. That is what I'm trying to do is, I'm just trying to model this motor alone. I'm not going to use it for something. Okay, I'm not connecting anything. So I'm just leaving this shaft open. It just rotates. Okay, I'm not applying any load onto the motor. So that is what it means when this is 0. Okay. Now, okay. So torque can be written as torque is equal to something like this. Okay. It is kT into I. Okay. It's proportional. Torque is proportional to the current. Okay. Torque is proportional to the current, and kT is called as torque constant. kT is called as torque constant. So this also need to be written. Okay, like something like the back EMF voltage is equal to the back EMF constant multiplied by the angular velocity. So the torque is equal to the kT times I, where kT is the torque constant, I is the current. So torque is proportional to the current. And what else you need to know is, so you need to substitute that over here. And also in SI units, if you follow, what you get is KE will be equal to KT, and that will be equal to K, for example. Okay, so this back EMF constant will be equal to the torque constant. Okay, this is always equal. So back EMF constant will be equal to the torque constant and can be written as K. And can be written as K. Okay, so these two constants are equal, and instead of writing it as Ke or Kt, I'll write it as K itself. Now, all these are in what domain? All these are in time domain. Okay, dt, di by dt. Okay, so all these are in time domain. Now I'll take the Laplace transform of this equation and the second equation. Okay, what is the Laplace transform of this? It is V of s minus this I, small I have written, right, capital, when you're taking Laplace transform. I r of s minus, can you tell me what is the Laplace transform of this one?
L into S.
L into s
I of S.
I of s. Okay, minus k omega of s equal to 0. What is the second equation? It is torque. I'll write it as k into I. Okay, k into I of s minus c into omega. Omega can be written as what? S into theta of s. Yeah, can it be written? Omega. Omega is what? Theta dot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. S into
Omega is nothing but theta dot. Okay, so theta dot can be written as S into theta of s. Okay, so C into S into theta of s is equal to, how do you write this? J theta double dot J
S square
S
theta
square
theta of S.
theta of s. Okay, this is how you write this one. Now I'll just copy these two equations. Okay, so I have two equations now. Now what I'll do is, I'll take I of s common here. So I of s is equal to just, so this can be written as instead of omega of s, I can write it as s
S theta omega.
of s, s theta of s, okay, k into s into theta of s. So that is omega of s. Fine. So what you get here is k into I of s is equal to what? From this equation, it is j s square theta of s plus cs theta of s. Okay. Now if I put k down, so it will be this. So I of s is equal to j s square theta of s plus cs theta of s by k. Now I of s can be written as, I'll take s common, it will be js plus c multiplied by theta of s common divided by k. Okay, so this can be written like this. Now, so you put this I of s into the first equation, okay, into the first equation. So this is v of s minus ks theta of s is equal to I of s. I'm just rewriting this equation. I of s taken as common, r plus ls. Okay, so this equation is written like this: v of s minus ks theta of s is equal to I of s multiplied by r plus ls. Okay, now we have I of s over here, so just substitute that over here. Okay, so we'll do that in the next slide. So v of s will be equal to s into js plus c by k theta of s multiplied by r plus ls plus ks theta of s. So how did that come? So it is ks theta of s is taken on the right side, and I of s, I just substituted this thing, s into js plus c into theta of s divided by k. Okay, so that is substituted, and then so v of s can be written as, so s into theta of s can be written as what? Theta dot
Theta dots.
of s. Okay, of s denotes it's in the s domain. Okay, now what you'll have is js, sorry, it's not the subscript, js plus c divided by k, js plus c divided by k, then here it is r plus ls, and you will be left with here k. Okay, because theta dot of s you have taken common. Now what is transfer function equal to? Transfer function is nothing but output by input. So what is the output? It is theta dot of s. The angular velocity is the output divided by the voltage is the input. So if you take theta dot of S, theta dot of S divided by V of S is equal to what will be equal to, this will be K divided by, if you do the, if you take this as common and then solve it, what you'll get is Js plus C multiplied by R plus Ls plus K square. Okay, so this is what you get when you take theta dot of S divided by V of S. So this is the transfer function for the DC motor that we saw. Okay, so this is what is the mathematical model of DC motor. Now with this, what you'll do, you need to select a DC motor, okay, and then the company person would give all the values of this. Okay, whoever is selling that motor will give you what is the K value, okay, what is the J, what is C, what is R, what is L, everything will be provided in the data sheet of the DC motor. Now from that you can take this mathematical model, okay, so that is nothing but theta dot of S divided by V of S. Okay, so what all did we do? We just took two equations. Okay, I'll just summarize this. We just took the Kirchhoff's voltage law, that this is for the electrical part, and then we took the Newton's second law for the torque equation. Okay, so we took that, and then we said the back EMF is equal to K into omega, and said torque is equal to KT into I, and also said that KE is equal to KT, which is equal to K. And then instead of having it in time domain, we converted to Laplace domain, that is S domain. Okay, both the equations, and then it is just the finding out what is I of S equal to from this equation. And then once you find out what is I of S, put that in the other equation for the voltage, and then get this S into theta of S will become theta dot of S. So that's how you get finally the theta dot of S and not theta. Okay, so theta dot of S divided by V of S. So this is what is a mathematical model of the DC motor. Now why all these are important? Because if you want to do some projects, you need to know how to mathematically model these things. The basic one is, first is the motor. Okay, from this you can apply, you can have a system, maybe a car. If you want to model, you can model a car. If you want to model say a drone, you can model it. Okay, and drone will use brushless DC motor, but what I have to discuss is brushed DC motors. Okay, so we'll discuss brushless, how to model those things a little later, but these things are important if you are interested in doing some projects. Okay, so if you are interested, then all you need to do is, with this model now, just substitute the values of that particular motor, you'll have the mathematical model of that DC motor. Okay, so what is the order of this transfer function? Second order system.
Second order.
It's a second order system. Okay, so we have not connected anything, we have not applied any load to the motor. Okay, just we have modeled only the motor. Okay, so now if you model only the motor, then motor becomes the system. Okay, motor becomes the system. if you model a motor and then use that motor to run something, then that will become the system, motor will become actuator. Okay, so how do you take the actuator and the system? It's just the block diagram, no, it is in series. So you just have to multiply the transfer function of the motor with the transfer function of the system, if you have a system. But if you have only the motor, then motor itself is the system. Okay, now can you if I give the K, J, C, R and L values, can you design a PID controller for this? Will you be able to?
Yes, sir.
You should be able to. Okay, so either by root locus or Ziegler-Nichols. Okay, you can even auto tune. So there are 3 methods by which you can do that. So these things will help learn